stand as you're able in body or spirit as we join our voices together in affirming our faith this Advent season. We believe in a God who knows our fears. We believe in a God who says, "Be not afraid." We believe in a God who kicks off her shoes and wades into the muck of our lives with us. We believe in a God who stitches herself to our heels and invites us to dance.
Mary obviously had some issues that people struggle to cope with. My sense is that she was certainly probably not so much Judean blue blood as a woman with Samaritan or Syro-Phoenician or other minority ethnic blood, which would explain for me how Jesus was particularly strong in his expression of solidarity with such groups. Today we might see her as an indigenous woman of the land.
The vision of Mary's song will only happen when the cycle of greed and violence and lust for power and revenge is finally broken. In the meantime, God continues to lift up the lowly and to fill the hungry with good things. Whew. There are little glimmers of liberation and justice, legislation that protects interracial marriages, marriages of queer people, thanks be to God.
We make lots of assumptions about Mary that the text doesn't back up. Patriarchy dominating the church for 2,000 years certainly hasn't helped our understanding of Mary either. I think as a result, we need to give Mary space to be reimagined. We have no idea if Mary was the first, the fifth, the 50th person that Gabriel approached. I love the thought that Mary wasn't the first person the angel asked.
Birth control and pharmacological abortions were widespread in the first century Mediterranean usage. Mary had a choice and made a choice. Luke has her declare her affirmation of her pregnancy in a 9-verse song. We have excellent data on exactly what causes pregnant people to choose birth. And Mary's song is pretty spot on. A comprehensive sex education, access to free or affordable healthcare, access to free or affordable childcare, access to free or affordable birth control, and access to free or affordable higher education. Mary had it in this text. Offer a world where power and resources are dispersed, not concentrated among the few, and people will choose birth.
This story comes from the underprivileged, not the affluent. This story comes from the despised, not the favored. I don't know if you know this, but Jesus' birth is not a Christian story, after all. It's a Jewish one. We see a woman who lives in marginal spaces. An institution can use her image as a symbol of power in the same way they can use the cross as an icon of superiority. But the entities those symbols represent defy such toxic power.
We are still encouraging wearing masks while singing, but clearly, you have to choose what's comfortable for you.
We can notice something crucial in these generations listed by Matthew. The story of Jesus is held aloft with queer families as its pillars. I would love to see a young adult reader book that features both Tamar and Jacob and gets shelved in a public library, because all of the book banners who think there should be room for only stories about one kind of family would tie themselves in knots figuring out what to do with this Bible story from a book they say they read and love. Bathsheba isn't even given a name in Matthew's genealogy. The Bible doesn't tell us anything about Bathsheba's overall feelings about David or how everything unfolded. Let's be clear about this. A woman who is summoned to the chambers of a king is in the same kind of position as a person who is put into a cage with a lion. Is it hungry or has it been fed already? Either way, tread carefully.
And what if God, scanning the planet, knows all of the people of various ages and in different countries? And what if God knocks on their door with the so-called Gabriel and says, "Hey, I've got a beautiful way for you to fix this community problem, solve climate crisis," so on and so forth. All of the stories of the Bible are not just something that might have happened but what they mean for us today. And maybe what they mean for us today is that you too have a metaphorical dream baby, something that God wants to bring forward in your life.
If I were setting the lines for Jesus in my gospel, I would have him say, "May I kiss the hurt as a mother does her child."
I identify the fear, whatever fear, in myself. Fear of the conspiracies, fear of what my child might become, fear of Russia not stopping with the Ukraine, and then putting my fear alongside the body of Jesus. And I can do that with the baby Jesus by picking up the baby and holding it close to me. I can do that in my prayers by playing with the child Jesus.
Mary can be seen to represent those at the worst end of many evils: racism, sexism, social, economic and cultural oppressions, and quite likely sexual and other abuse and trauma. Truly, the queer angels of courage, compassion and joy are powerfully manifest in Mary, whatever Christian tradition has tried to do to make her just a subservient woman. For Mary, bloom where you are planted did not certainly mean put up with your lot. Rather, it means give birth, and you don't have to be a woman to do that, but give birth to God, to courage, to compassion, justice, joy. Or as one of our Advent carols has it, give birth to your angel potential.
Take today's alternative gospel reading, a matriarchal genealogy of Jesus Christ.
Sarah was the mother of Isaac, and Rebekah was the mother of Jacob. Leah was the mother of Judah. Tamar was the mother of Perez. The names of the mothers of Hezron, Ram, Amminadab, Nahshon, and Salmon have been lost. Rahab was the mother of Boaz. And Ruth was the mother of Obed. Obed's wife, whose name is unknown, bore Jesse.
The genealogies probably remain in the lectionary to remind us that they mattered a lot when they were written. The matriarchal genealogy we heard today took me back to Dory Previn's 1974 song, Did Jesus Have a Baby Sister? Did Jesus have a baby sister? Was she bitter? Was she sweet? Did she wind up in a convent? Did she end up on the street? Did he have a baby sister? Could she speak out by and large? Or was she told by Mother Mary, ask your brother, he's in charge? And in private to her mirror, did she whisper, Saviorette? Savior woman, Savior woman, Savior person, Savior breath.
The idea that we have drugs able to keep HIV at bay to such a degree that it's undetectable, allow people of any orientation to be intimate with each other without the fear of getting sick. To me, that is a straight up miracle next to where we were 30 years ago.
Imagine my shock when after 294 days, WNBA All-Star and two-time Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner, a queer black woman detained in Russia, was finally returned to U.S. custody. Part of me didn't think Griner would ever make it home. For the U.S. and Russia, who are hostile to folks like her, for them to work together in a way that brought her home honestly feels like a miracle. Isaiah declares, the Lord will give you a sign. The young woman is with child, and she shall bear a son, and shall call him Emmanuel. When Emmanuel shows up, people who are imprisoned in body, mind, or spirit are freed. Women, people of color, LGBTQ people, and others formerly thought unworthy become the instruments God intended all along to lead us. When Emmanuel showed up, Brittany Griner was set free.
But what if Joseph isn't real? Some scholars have suggested this. What if this is a character that Matthew made up? So what if it is? Whether Joseph is literal or literary, he still shows the power of love. The point isn't whether Joseph existed. The point is we can be Joseph. Our love can save the day. LGBTQ kids need a Joseph. Refugee children need a Joseph. With homophobia and transphobia and anti-Semitism and racism and xenophobia on the rise, the question isn't, was there a Joseph? The question is, will we dare to be Joseph today? Will we offer a love that saves?